I'm always terrified. You just get this like mischievous look on your face,
What
which
do
is
you mean?
appropriate for today's episode. You're channeling
Well,
Cyrus.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just see that look on your face right before you click record. You just get this like, oh,
I
I'm about to try to trip her up.
would never.
I see all of the thoughts go through your head.
I would never, darling.
Yeah.
I just want to welcome you to this podcast.
Oh, thank you. That's so
That's what this
nice.
face is.
That's
It's
so
so weird that
sweet.
you would think that there's something else on my mind
I
other than just welcoming you. I mean,
so kind. I'm excited.
what else is there?
I had to go touch up my eye makeup. I spent the morning crying, but happy tears.
I'm
I
right
guess.
here. You don't have
I
to
know.
cry.
I'm back with you.
I'm close again.
Apart, but now we're back together again.
Okay.
No, our oldest got up and took me to see the pro shot of Hadestown, the musical,
Mhm.
at the theater this
Sing the
morning.
thing. Sing the thing.
No,
They all
you
sing.
always want me to sing on the podcast. I'm
Sing
not
it.
singing. No, but it's in
Wait
my
for
head.
me. How's it go?
Wait for me.
That's right.
I'm coming. It's such a good song.
It is a
It's
good
in my
song.
head, but I'd never seen the show. He and I had one. He has seen
What's a
it,
pro shot?
but we wanted to see it together. A pro shot is where they go and professionally film a production of a musical or a stage
cool.
production. And so they did such
Huh.
a great job, like showing a little bit of backstage stuff leading into the show
Mm.
starting and then like the audience waiting. So you really kind of
Yeah.
got that feeling.
You were in
Because that, you worry about that, like as somebody who we really love the theater. And so you don't want to
Yeah.
take, there is such a special, like,
energy and
yeah, and
vibe
energy in the
the
theater,
vibe,
and
the
just
vibe.
from that view and that perspective. You're
Yeah.
not up in their face. This isn't a movie, it's not cinema, but man, the actors were incredible. The people who put together the pro shot did
Yeah.
an amazing job.
Jack said they did a good job incorporating the audience
They really
generally.
did. Yeah, you kind of felt like you were a part of it, but even
Mm.
those up close shots were really amazing. It
Mhm.
was, I mean, man, it was beautiful. And like I said, I'd never seen it. I'd heard some of the music, but it was beautiful and it was emotional. And then also, like,
Mm.
he's moving out in 2 weeks, and so I'm sure there was some just sitting there in the theater being
Their
like,
little
how many
baby.
more times is this gonna happen when he leaves for college?
I mean, the real miracle is that you got him up at 10 o'clock
No,
today.
the movie was a 10 a.m. movie. It was, yeah, miracles
Miracle.
happen, but it was a beautiful show. Now I want to go see the stage production,
Okay.
but it was so good, and now the
Okay.
music will be stuck in my head forever. So play me some different music to help get that out of my
All
head.
right. Let's go to the music then. We're back.
Welcome to our next
Back
chapter
again.
podcast. Another song.
ONC is back. Tell a friend.
Tell a friend, please.
Tell a friend.
I'm
Tell a friend.
Andrea.
I'm Matt.
We're a married couple.
Yeah.
We've been together over 25 years, married for over 20. We've got 2 grownish boys, and we started reading romance novels together as a way to spend
True.
time together, and decided to write one and make a podcast about writing one, and that's where you're at. So thanks for
We
hanging
started
out
talking
with
to
us.
authors.
We did.
Cool authors.
Playing
Man,
games.
we got a good one for you today,
Oh
too.
man, we're so excited. It is a
Mhm.
good one.
Yes.
But yeah, welcome. Thank you for being here. And speaking of summer and all the things, we've been hanging
We've
out,
been busy.
spending a lot
We've been
of
trying to
quality
spend time
Yeah.
together. You
Like
know,
we said, the oldest is moving
Oldest
out.
is doing his thing. The youngest, I need him to move out. I'm ready for him to move
Oh,
out. I mean,
stop.
what?
He's about to go to high school. It's crazy time, but
Busy time.
summer, like school has not started yet, and so
No.
there has been a lot of quality time with all the people in the house. Matt's used to working from home alone, and him and Stella have
I
not
was gonna
gotten
say,
their
I'm
hangout
not
time.
alone.
Yes,
It's me and
your
Stella.
colleague Stella.
Yes, my colleague.
They're ready for us to all go back to work. But one cool thing happening this summer in the North
What's
Texas
happening?
area, the North Texas Indie Bookstore Crawl started
Mhm.
August 1st. And so we're excited for the month and getting to hang
Gotta
out,
get our
go on some
passport
dates.
stamped.
Yeah, this is our passport.
We
that
gotta
we picked
go
up.
make it work.
We started at the Half Price Books flagship store in Dallas, and had a
I think
great
there's
time there.
35 stops now.
Yeah, it's
34 maybe.
exciting.
And they're all over the Metroplex.
All over. For people who don't know how big the Dallas-Fort Worth, like
it's
North
unbelievable.
Texas Metroplex is.
I actually plotted it out a little
Yeah.
bit. So if we did it in one shot, if we
One
just went
day.
straight through, we would travel around 400 to 450 miles.
Crazy. I've seen a graphic where you can put the state of Connecticut over like
Oh my gosh.
DFW, and it like North Texas is bigger
Mhm.
than the state of
It
Connecticut.
actually says what it suggests to do is to break it into 4 sections, like 4 loops, like this area, that area, this area, and you do it on 4 consecutive days. You could. I mean, you don't have to, of
Or
course.
weekends.
Or
we did,
weekends.
yeah.
And it's something like a total of 700 miles if you were to break it out through this loop and
loop it,
loop
yeah.
home and then loop and home.
That's still fun though.
It's
I
fun.
don't know if we could. I mean, I don't know if we could dedicate
I don't know
4
if we could do
weekends to
all
it,
of it.
but we're gonna do our
We're gonna get a
best
bunch of it though.
to get to as many as possible. It's a good excuse for a date.
Definitely.
And so many of these locations are having, 10% off with purchase.
And
or
they have air
free
conditioning
drink. They
and
have air
books,
conditioning.
you
It's
know. Only
speaking of
107.
Hades,
Yeah.
Hadestown. Hades is
My
here in
God.
Dallas. It is so hot.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, there's all these like free gifts and purchase and with your
What do you want me to buy
passport
you,
and
darling? Let's go.
every book. I want them
Oh,
all.
you gotta
They're so
rescue them all.
pretty. Yes, and I want bookmarks and
bookmarks.
totes. You can never get enough. So
Mhm.
yeah, if you're in the area, join us
Do
for
it.
the
Come
North
with
Texas
us.
Bookstore Crawl, or
See us out
start
there.
your own in your own area.
That would be cool.
Just go support the indie bookstores. That is what
That's
we want
fun.
to see. So
Yes. Yeah. On the show today, we've got Amy Archer.
excited. Look how beautiful this
Beautiful.
book is. Nemesis
Beautiful.
Mine.
So fun.
the
I've been
owl.
reading it. It is so fun, and it's a fun read.
It's fun.
So we'll go talk to Amy, and then we'll come back, and then we have a little bit of a mailbox for you
We got
guys.
some
We got some mail.
We need a
Let's see what
jingle
happened.
for mail time.
We
can't
just
steal
got
the,
a letter.
can't steal the Blues
We just
Clues
got
one,
a
although that's the
letter.
ultimate
We just
mail
got
time.
a letter.
But
One-
please enjoy our interview with Amy Archer.
Yeah. Today, we are so excited to welcome debut author Amy Archer to our next chapter. Amy hails from Doncaster, England, and her writing story began when she became pen pals with her granddad at just 6 years old. As she grew up, she carried a laptop to cricket pitches across northern England while her brother played. She filled time with stories, poetry, and lots of fan fiction. She later graduated from the Faber Academy and was longlisted for the Lucy Cavendish Fiction Prize in 2022. Now, after years of writing about all things fantastical, she's making her debut with Nemesis Mine. Nemesis Mine is a funny, sexy, and deeply tender fantasy romance filled with fake feuding, grumpy sunshine chemistry, heroic branding, secret softness, and two men discovering that neither of them is quite the person everyone expects them to be. Amy, we are so excited to talk about your journey, your love of villains, and the wonderfully chaotic world of Nemesis Mine. Welcome to our next chapter.
Hey,
Hi, thank you for having me.
Welcome. Of
I'm
course.
so glad you're here.
We're so pumped.
Thank you for joining.
And of course, I have to ask the first question. You've got to tell me about Sherlock and Freddie Mercury. That's the number one question
Of
that I have
course.
to know.
Okay, I could talk about them until I'm blue in the face. Sherlock
Uh-huh.
is a chocolate working cocker spaniel. He's 13
Mhm.
now, so he's an elderly gent. And Freddie is a kind of grey, stripy tabby from a rescue centre in Yorkshire where I live. And they love to cuddle all the time, basically, just getting straight in
Yes.
and spilling their secrets.
Amazing.
Yes,
I love
yes.
it. I know.
We have a secret third member of the podcast, and
That's
it's our
true.
dog
Oh,
Stella.
really?
So she gets brought up every
Oh,
single podcast.
yes.
She's an old lady. She's
she's
well,
12
13.
now. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
she
What
does
kind of dog
okay,
is
but
she?
Her and Sherlock would get
she's a
along.
bit of a mutt.
She is a true
She's
mutt.
like wire hair.
We got her from the shelter here in our town and did the DNA testing, and it came back with 14 different breeds. So a real true mutt.
But she has a
that's
cousin.
amazing.
She does have
in
a
Japan.
cousin in Japan. That was
Oh,
exciting to
that's
learn.
so cool that you can find
so
that out.
also an international gal.
Yeah, she's
there,
international.
But no, we were laughing because so many of the breeds that came back were favorite breeds of ours. So we're
Mhm.
like, she really is a
She's
mix
a
of all of
mix.
our
A little bit of
favorite kinds
everything.
of dogs. So yes,
Indeed.
but she's very spoiled, and she gets brought up at least once an episode.
Oh, at least.
That's really
Absolutely.
She's
cool.
the love of Matt's life.
If I can just jump in with a very quick anecdote about where Sherlock's name came from.
Please.
Oh my gosh,
I
please.
We would
I
love to
actually
know.
I don't know if you ever saw BBC Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Top 5 show of all time.
I was an
Go ahead.
extra in that.
Yes!
It was my
Awesome.
first ever job, and Sherlock was
That's
actually born the week of filming. So
Yes.
hence why it's called Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Yes.
He was reading about you, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, her dog's name is Sherlock. There
It's like,
has to be a
yes.
story. There could not
That's the
have been a
best.
better
That's
story.
absolutely the best.
Like that is
It's a good
seriously
book.
one
Yeah,
of his top
I
favorite
rewatch that
shows.
about every year.
Yeah,
Me and my
he
eldest will rewatch it.
Yeah,
Loves
I'm in
that
the
show.
the
That's so
wedding
cool.
episode where John gets
Yes.
married. Sherlock jumps
Absolutely.
over the table, delivers his best man speech, and I'm in the corner like giving him evils. So you can look out.
Okay, we're gonna
Okay.
rewatch
Let
and
me
look for
write it
you.
down.
I can't wait. It's so exciting. So basically, you're connected to
Yeah,
the show
it all
now.
makes sense.
It's
It
a
all
degree of
makes sense.
separation.
Exactly, all the degrees.
Excellent.
That's incredible.
I do want to know about you as a writer, and I do want to hear about the story about you and your grandfather and that relationship. I thought that was so interesting when we learned
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think as I kind of write on my profile and things, my brother was very sporty growing up, and I always leaned to literature. And my mum
Sure.
used to kind of go out of her way to make sure that, because I was kind of naturally getting taken to a lot of nets and a lot of practice for him because of the nature of sports, that she was really making time to kind of help me with what I was interested in too. So
Mm.
she used to have like poetry nights where we would go to a bookshop and we'd pick out a book together, and then we would go through it together, and it might be poetry, it might be short stories
Aw.
and things like that. We'd have some snacks and we'd just kind of enjoy the poetry or the literature together, I guess. And my granddad, he always wanted to be an author himself. And like he passed away in 2010, but we've got all sorts of letters and short stories and kind of the beginnings of novels that he never really finished. He left behind a lot of those. So I still have those. But my mum, because she knew that we both had this interest, she said to him, maybe you should like become Amy's pen pal. Maybe if you write some letters back and forth, it's a way for her to do what she enjoys, which was writing, but also to kind of share something quite special with him. I was the youngest grandchild of 6, so obviously everybody has their kind of unique relationship with a grandparent, but for me, that was kind of my connection to my granddad, that we would write these letters back and forth. And I've obviously still got them, you know, like locked up safe in a little box. And in some of them, he's just chatting about his week, what dreams he's had. And in some, he's actually saying, oh, here's a word that you should look up in the dictionary. Or have you ever tried like writing a story from a prompt like this? And he's kind of bringing that out in me, which is just really, really special to still have those,
Yeah.
Oh my
really.
gosh.
That's
That's
incredible. That's
unbelievable.
so beautiful.
What a
And
beautiful thing to
I
have.
love that
Oh
your
my gosh.
mom nurtured that from such a
Yes.
young age. I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, it is so typical for those younger siblings to get carted along when you're,
Yeah.
have an older sibling playing some sport.
Mm.
But I love that she also really
Yeah.
took the time to take you to those events and things
Yeah.
that really connected for you. And I mean,
Mm.
what were the things then at that time that you started to write? Were there things that you and your grandpa ever wrote together, or was it kind of the inspiration that
It
got
was
you started
kind
from the
of
letters?
It was kind of the inspiration. I think the things that I was writing, I was kind of writing short stories, little books of poetry. I actually recently found a sort of handmade booklet that I'd given to my nan and granddad.
Mm.
I think I was about 7 or 8. And like it's just sort of little poems where I've clearly been inspired by whatever me and my mum were reading, and I've kind of done my
Yeah.
own version of it. I think a bit like him, it was kind of the beginnings of stories that I never really kind of had the momentum to finish at that age. But what I do think is interesting is that you can really clearly see what I was reading at the time. So
Yeah.
when I was quite small and reading like Enid Blyton, it's all about the sandwiches that they're eating and the lemonade they're drinking and stuff like that. And then I read Darren Shan and Anthony Horowitz, and like there's a little bit of kind of his boy spy type stuff coming into my stories, and like
Yes.
Michael Mapergo, very like emotional stories coming out.
Yeah.
Um, and then as I got a little bit older, I don't know how I discovered it, but when I realized that fan fiction was a thing, it
Mhm.
started turning into that. I was really
Yes.
into like BBC Robin Hood and BBC Merlin and things like that. And
Yeah.
there were a
Yes.
whole lot of stories coming out there.
Yeah.
Um, so
Magical
yeah.
and still,
The
yeah.
magical realism, we love that.
We've
We've
been talking
talked,
Yeah.
about.
yeah, we're thinking about incorporating it into our story. We
Oh,
both,
cool.
our entire lives, realize how much we have gravitated to stories that
Yeah.
Yeah.
incorporated some element of magic or,
I've got
something.
my
Yeah.
sci-fi background's like I'm a huge Star Trek nerd. That's
He
one of my
Me
things.
too.
Like
Original
it's
series
sad.
for me.
Yeah, TOS. You're a TOS person.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our best friend has written a musical called Con. So it's like a
Oh,
musical
wow.
retelling of the movie. It's really fantastic.
It's getting
That's
Picking up,
picked
so
up.
fun.
Yeah,
picking
it's
up
getting
everywhere.
performed all over
Um,
the world now. It's kind
yeah,
of
That's
cool.
so
Yeah.
amazing.
he and I
Lots of
had a
Star
little
Trek
Star
in our
Trek
house too.
podcast
But
at one point, and
yeah. I love though that
anyways,
you can
yeah.
see your journey though as a writer of with the influences of not only, your grandfather and your mom, but then like what you were
Unbelievable.
reading and watching
Yeah.
at the time and then how that kind of influenced your
Yeah.
own voice and
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
incredible.
So what are you currently nerding out about then?
Yeah.
Oh, you might regret asking that. I'm a year into a very intense Squid Game obsession at the minute.
Mm.
Okay.
I have the tracksuit, I have the pink guard suit. I'm
Yes,
currently spending my
yes,
weekends like
Yes.
making little Star Trek figures out of clay. It's an
yes,
intense
Interesting.
one.
I love
yes.
this.
special interest. That's
I
my
was
life.
gonna say, I know. I'm like,
You're talking to the right person.
we'd be besties for sure if we ever come visit. Like, you guys are gonna have so much fun.
Amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love that. The tracksuit, the commitment. Have you made the little cookies that you have to cut out with the pen?
Yeah. I
Sugar.
spent a fortnight in Korea with my mum in April, and like I came back with the kit to make the dalgona and stuff. I was in heaven.
Amazing. I love that. That's incredible.
Well, let's talk about the book.
No, will you share a little? We've got a beautiful copy. I know this is the U.S. cover.
Yes.
The both covers are absolutely gorgeous.
Awesome. Yeah, I love them both.
Just to our listeners, check out the UK cover as well. It's beautiful. But was released June 23rd here in the States. So yeah, will you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so Nemesis Mine is a fantasy rom-com about a villain who has hit his 30s and he's starting to worry that his street cred, for lack of a better term, is running out. He is a professional villain. He doesn't really feel that he's getting the respect or fear that he deserves from the people in the town that he kind of presides over. And obviously as a villain, he's got a lot of enemies, but there's one enemy in particular who is a hero of the realm and everybody loves him, also Cyrus thinks. And they really do not like each other at all, but Max, the hero, is also feeling a little bit worn down by his life choices. And they come up with the idea that maybe they can boost their reputations by having a fake feud, essentially, and they can get lots of adoration from the peasants for defeating the hero or the villain, depending on which side you're on. But they fake a feud and end up catching real feelings. So they do, spoiler alert, end up falling for each other through doing this.
Incredible.
So that is essentially Nemesis.
So fun.
Yes. I've been reading it. It's absolutely wonderful. I love the voice. I love the tone. It's so fun to read. It's such a fun read.
I'm glad.
One of the things that kind of popped out to me was, we don't get, maybe we do. I haven't seen that many stories that come from the villain point of view. And I always love a villain. I mean, the villain always has more leeway to have more fun and do more things. What was it like kind of writing that rom-com kind of vibe, but from the villain side?
It was really fun. It was so much fun because I think you're not constrained by, I would like my character to do X or Y, but that's not a very nice thing to do, or people might judge that. There's no constraints there. He is a villain. He wants to be more villainous than he is, so he's not a villain who's like fighting against his own morals and he ends up being darker. He's not I love Star Wars, but he's not a Anakin type figure. He's very much embracing the darkness as much as he can, and if anything, he's kind of not in his heart kind of as bad as he wants to be. He's got aspirations. So you're very much not constrained. There was a lot of freedom in writing him, and it was just really fun to kind of occupy his thoughts. And it's like, I think everyone's got a little voice in their head that sometimes you have a thought where you're like, whoa, that was harsh. And then, it might be harsh but fair, it might be harsh but completely unfair. But with writing Cyrus, you don't have to think, oh, hold back on that. You can just really go for it. Any mean into it. Let loose.
Yeah, that's so fun. I would love to know too, like, about the decision to make them a little older. They're mid-30s, which I think is also, we've talked a lot about in our book of, we want our people to be a little older. We want them to have had some experience and some
now that I'm
baggage
21, 22.
Right, just soon, 22 soon, right? Yeah. With a kid heading to college.
Don't worry about that.
No, but I'd love to know about your choice on that too.
Yeah, I actually, at the start of this, because I had signed with my agent 2 books prior to Nemesis, but neither of them had got a book deal. So at the time that I started drafting Nemesis, it was very much a case of coming up with a idea and talking to my agent about it and saying, what do you think about this? And I did at that point say to her, I'm leaning towards them being in their mid-30s. What do you think about that? Should I make them... should I kind of try to make it lean into YA instead? Is that do you think that I'm right for doing this? And she actually said that she really liked the fact that they were a bit older because it made it a little bit different, and because it stops it being a story about kind of finding yourself in like a sexuality way or something like that, which there's definitely space for those stories, but that kind of wasn't the story that I was wanting to tell with Nemesis. So Cyrus knows who he is. Max knows who he is. What they don't know is their capacity for loving each other, but they're not kind of an 18-year-old on the cusp of adulthood learning about their personality. And I also think it's just nice to kind of write about, rather than finding yourself. It's kind of like, well, I found myself and I think I might be lacking that kind of take. Which I was hoping, might be relatable for a lot of us, and also
Absolutely.
just again a lot of fun to write. Really, I was also. In terms of we've talked about interest and, fan fiction, special interest. I was very into Our Flag Means Death at the time. I don't know if you've seen that, the pirate show with Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the two main characters in that, Blackbeard and Steed, they are about 50-ish, and they fall for each other. And obviously Cyrus and Max are somewhere in between YA and the pirates there. But I think I was probably quite influenced by that in a kind of, this is a way to tell a bit of a different story, a different love story, if you like.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
I love that choice.
Love that.
And I think too, having just come out of our 30s, just recently.
Yeah.
I think too, that's such an experience of that time period in your life where you are just kind of reevaluating. You've gone through the school and establishing yourself in your career, your life, kind of creating your routines, and then you kind of step back and go,
well, you get there and you go, oh,
yeah,
this is
what I want.
oh,
What more can it be?
Yeah.
Where do I pivot?
Like, what now?
Exactly.
Yeah, literally.
So I love that they're both kind of in that place too of wanting a little more for themselves and figuring out.
Yeah, and I think they really do figure out that their identities don't completely match who they are, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's the story of identity, big time, of course, and finding yourself. Like, how do you feel like that tension came through? How did you write that tension to the core of the story of them, like you said, finding themselves, but also finding each other in the meantime?
Yeah, in some ways, I think the fact that it was like single narration helped with that, because I was writing it just from Cyrus's head. So from Max's perspective, you don't really know what's going on with him and his kind of how he feels about where he is at life and how people are reacting to him. You only know Cyrus's take on him at the start, which is that he's the golden boy who's got it all.
Right.
So I think there's a bit of tension there, because Cyrus is actually misreading Max quite badly at the start, and the reader goes along with him. And then it's as you get to know Max that unravels, and you realize that Max isn't exactly as you thought he was, which I hope kind of shines a bit of a mirror on Cyrus in turn. And it's like, it's not that he's an unreliable narrator as such, but he certainly, he wants to be something that the reader is starting to think, oh, I don't actually think you're all that in terms of your villainy. So I was hoping that the tension of only keeping it in one of their heads rather than flipping between them would help with the draft, with the book.
Sure.
It's no longer a draft, it's a published book.
No, for sure. And I think too, it just shows how much that's such a real feeling and emotion of the way that you perceive things, and how your own brain can create these stories and these truths about yourself or about others, that it's just that is your reality. I mean, like you said, I don't think Cyrus is being so much as an unreliable narrator. It's just that's his truth, that's his point of view, and he's got to.
I have been thinking a lot about that recently. We do a lot of research for the podcast and writing and reading, of course. And one of the things in my head recently is this idea of the unreliable narrator, and how that to me is actually more interesting most of the time. That's where you get a lot of attention, more human. But there is a difference between unreliable narrator and shifting in perspectives. Man, I'm just jiving with what you're saying. I'm like, yes, this is exactly what my brain's like, man, this is exactly what we've been talking about.
Yeah. I also want to know, though, on the flip side, too, it's very funny and there's so much humor. And so I'm curious how you balance that, especially with this like emotional aspect of them kind of, like you said, learning this love for each other. How did you incorporate that as well?
I mean, firstly, I'm glad that you think it's funny, because it's terrifying, like writing something that you think is funny and then giving it to people and knowing that it might just be you. People really
like, I'm funny, I promise.
Yeah, please laugh. I think it kind of happened quite naturally, I think. And I think a lot of that, again, was like Cyrus's inner voice. Hopefully I tried to that's where a lot of the humor comes from, and because that kind of just carries throughout, even when the story starts off like his everyday, ridiculous as it may be, and then it goes into telling a love story, but because it sticks with that inner voice of Cyrus, the humor is hopefully always just underlying the building blocks of the romance that are being put in. I don't know, I'm trying to think back to the drafting process and whether there were ever any kind of chunks that were taken out because they were sort of too funny when the romance was building, or too romantic and kind of dampened the funniness. But I don't really think that happened, because the story did just kind of like it rides on their shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and so many times the humor is a way to get to know each other better. You know, you develop those little inside jokes or things like that. You know,
there's definitely a balance there, right? Between like you built a big, beautiful world, and you've also layered a lot of humor into this and personality, and then you have to portray real emotions on the back end.
Yeah.
You know.
I did.
And this world that you've created. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I did feel like very strongly all the way through that as much as it is a comedy, and I always describe Nemesis as a rom-com, because I think that it is romantic, because it is a romantic fantasy, but people often kind of have a preset idea of what that looks like. So Nemesis does fall into that category, but it also falls into the rom-com category, and I think that kind of describes it better than romantasy. But I did feel all along that I very much wanted it to be a sincere love story. So it's a comedy, it's a fantasy, but the love story is very much at the heart of it, and the emotions that both of them feel are very genuine and not just kind of like played for laughs all the way through. It's like the world is played for laughs, and Cyrus's personality is at times played for laughs, and Max can be kind of, you know, ridiculous and a bit arrogant, and all of that carries humor, but the feelings that they develop for each other, it's true love, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm interested to know, you said you've written a couple of other books before. This one really kind of, you know, took hold and kept rolling. What do you think the hallmarks of an Amy Archer story are?
That's a good question. I think I have something of an obsession with odd couple relationships. And looking back at everything I've written, there has always been a duo who don't belong together. Even when it's not necessarily a romance. Like one of the other ones that I wrote was a romance. The one before that wasn't as such, but the two best friends in it were definitely, they didn't really belong together, but they found themselves together through circumstance and were just kind of dealing with the fact that, oh, you're my person, even though I never thought you would be. So I think that is definitely a hallmark.
The collision of worlds.
Yes, I love that. Putting those two together, figuring out how it works.
It's like we said, like that's where a lot of the tension comes from, right? From having people who sort of shouldn't be together, in inverted commas, but find their way there. Sorry, you go first this time.
Oh, no. Please finish your thoughts.
I was just going to say, I do think that like a bit of irreverent humor has probably always been in the books, but this is the one that pushes it further. As far
like
as
you said,
that's what makes it fun.
That's
what
makes
it's fun to write, you know, and your personality is to shine through. I do think that's actually a great segue into the game. We're talking about crashing worlds together and creating something fun and exciting. So if you're down, we'd love to play our game, The Impossible Meet Cute, with you. Super simple. You create a character who maybe has a name and a quirk or anything. I'll create a character. Andrea will give us a location. We smash them together. And we kind of figure out what their meet cute kind of looks like. And maybe we give them the book a title at the end. I don't know. Who knows? We get as far as we get.
come up with. I know. Yeah, where it goes.
Amazing.
Let me think.
You got to get your character.
I know.
I've been thinking of ideas. I had one idea this morning of a place that they could maybe meet, but then I think that these locations are only in the U.S. and maybe Canada. But do you guys have the medieval times locations, the castles? Have y'all seen those? I don't know. We have.
No, I don't think so.
It's a event. So you go and you're like stepping back into medieval times. It's in a castle, which
they build a fake castle.
Yeah, it's like a dinner and tournament.
And
is
then
what it is.
you sit around the ring.
Cool.
Of the...
There's a king and queen and there's knights and they have so you come in and you get a flag with your.
It's so confusing to hear you talk about it. It's so funny to me. Anyway, let's not go there.
Well, I was just
let's go literally anywhere else.
I know, but that had come to my mind I don't just like
I know what it is, and
what
I'm
if
like,
you got seated next to each other? But
that's a lot of
basically, you
stuff.
come and they serve you food
No.
as if you were in the medieval times. You have to eat with your hands.
That sounds
all these
very
things,
fun.
But like the knights do like
They
jousting,
do jousting,
and games,
and then they hit each other.
You know,
with
somebody
swords.
wins. They give the ladies a rose.
Oh my
Like it's
gosh,
a whole thing.
no.
But we will not do.
Okay.
that. But...
I know what it is. And you're like, well, there's a king and a queen and, you know, knights. And they're like,
it's kind
you're
of
eating
like,
with your fingers
I
and
feel
like you
it's
sit around and they feed you Pepsi.
Fair. It's a Ren fair, but like just the
What's
dinner
the Ren
and
fair
tournament part of it.
You see, that's so funny because
it.
I'm picturing like the actual ruined like Norman castle that's around the corner from me.
The actual castle, exactly.
Yeah, we don't have old things here at all. I feel like old is like 50 years old. Yeah. No, but it's an experience. If you ever come to the States, especially to Dallas, we would be happy to
we'll take you.
That sounds very cool.
It is quite the event. Their soup is really good.
Okay.
Sorry, I've completely derailed.
Ye old Pepsi comes out to your table.
It really is.
Okay, well, if you have a character, I'll let you go first. I'll let you fire away.
I do have a character, and it is vaguely linked to what you just said. My character is a knight of the Round Table, Sir Percival, who has just stumbled into the location from Arthurian legend via a portal.
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay, an actual knight. Okay, then I want to go with the thing I wrote down, which was, I thought, what if there's a horror novelist who was like terrified of everything, like slept with a nightlight, was just absolutely,
but wrote like
always terrified, but always
horrors.
wrote great horror stories.
Okay.
So
do they have a name?
They can be Lance.
Oh,
so it's close to
Lance and
Lancelot.
Percival. Okay, I know. What if I'd actually gone with medieval times? Wow. Well, I have to throw a complete wrench in it then because I'm thinking they meet at the gym. Can you imagine?
Percival appears in a modern
knight?
gym?
Yeah, like walking in.
Weights?
Is he in full like?
Yeah, he's got the visor down.
Oh, for sure. Oh,
and a spear.
Amazing.
Oddly enough, that might work in a gym these days.
Yeah.
People are like, yeah, bro.
Yeah, I like
Looks
it.
good.
Yeah. It helps you sweat and lift heavier, you know?
Okay. I think the horror novelist is there because he's trying to like be stronger. Like he's like terrified of everything. So he's like, if I'm physically stronger, maybe I'll feel better about myself.
I like it.
You know? He's trying to bulk up
and
that
then he
way.
sees like the ultimate image of like...
You want to talk about something that would scare the crap out of this guy? Is a knight appearing?
His actual nightmare.
Nightmare. Okay, so that's the name of the book is Nightmare. Okay.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Incredible.
Oh, we got there early on that one.
It would be quite funny if Lance like was on a treadmill and like opposite a window. So when he first sees Sir Percival, it's in like the reflection, but behind him. The poor man.
Oh my goodness.
Just walking then.
Can you imagine?
The slow turn.
He's just
it's the world's slowest turn.
He's there trying to build up his strength and mental fortitude.
He's being tested.
Amazing. Yeah. Does Sir Percival approach Lance or?
I think so. But only because I want Percival to get on the treadmill next to him in the clink, 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 clink.
Is he any kind of disoriented, or is he used to this like portal travel?
Oh, that's a good question.
I feel like it's good if he's pretty used to it. It's just a thing that happens.
Yeah,
that's his thing.
He hops off the round table into a different world. Just
he's just saving the world. He's like the doctor.
Yeah, he's like, this is what I'm doing today. Yeah.
Okay, I like it. That's my current obsession.
I was gonna say that's the new one. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I love this. So he's there. He appears because there's some sort of wrongdoing, or he's there to, I don't know. He goes there for some reason. Okay. And maybe he comes up to Lance looking for like facts or like, where am I? Or like, what's going on in the situation? And he won't look at him. I think he's just like, so he ends up getting on the thing next to him and he turns it on. And he's like, clink, clink. He's like, sir, I'm looking for danger, maybe. Okay.
Now, where does the spark happen?
Yeah.
That they're going to spend more time together at the gym, or they're going to maybe leave and go get coffee from here? Like, what is this meet cute?
I think it has to do with the problem maybe he's trying to solve. Maybe Percival's trying to solve.
Oh, yeah, like why he's there. Maybe it's a little quantum leapish where he has to figure out why he got sent here. Maybe he was there to help Lance get more brave, because who's more brave than a knight?
That's a good point. And also, if Lance is a very good horror novelist. He's presumably very good at plotting things, so he should have the ability to help
Castle.
Percival work out.
Figure out. Okay, I love it. I think that's great.
So how do they make this arrangement? Like, is it a thing where
I think
I don't know if it's this, but like the gym guy comes and he's like, "Sir, you can't be wearing that in here," and he's like, "Oh, this is my friend." I don't know why he would say that, but they have to somehow have
some instant loyalty. They have each other's backs. I love it.
Okay, what if somebody comes up to bully Lance while Percival's there and Lance protects?
That's a brave person to come bully Lance while Percival's next to him.
In full armor.
Yeah.
No.
Percival
I think that's what sticks them together.
Yeah.
Percival could like aim his spear at the gym bully and just be like, "Avast!" And no one's gonna mess with.
No.
Okay.
And then they grow
they
from there.
Get together.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I like the idea that Lance maybe this is like the start of the first book.
Oh, I know. This is a series.
3-book series.
Sure.
This is where he meets his sidekick, because I think Lance comes with him to help him navigate more modern situations as they solve mysteries throughout time.
I love it.
Yeah.
But is Nightmare, is that
Nightmare's not the title.
I know. It sounded so right, but as it evolved and their love grew already, their relationship, I don't know.
Okay. Then we need a name for the series then.
Love on the treadmill. That doesn't sound. That sounds weird.
Sounds like a reality show.
Like it would be difficult.
It sounds like a reality show. Love Island. Yeah.
Maybe if it's like, I like using night.
Something with medieval.
Medieval.
Going back to
not medieval times.
Medieval times. I know.
Night after night, or
okay.
Yeah, you could have night.
That one's taken, I think.
As in KN, night after night, as in like dark sky.
Horror, yes.
Horror.
And
yes, that's it.
His name is Lance Knight, by the way. I forgot. N-I-G-H or N-I-G-H-T.
They
so
just
it's
happen
perfect.
to have that connection.
Perfect.
Oh, it's amazing. Thank
night
you so much.
After night.
Thank you for playing. That's so fun.
That's perfect. Look,
that might be one of my favorite ones.
That's a good
that
one.
We've come up with. That's a fun story.
So I am assuming
I'm just like, I want to see the show now. I want to see like the production of it. Yes, I just mostly want to see that moment that she describes of like him seeing that reflection.
The slow turn of
oh my
clink,
goodness,
clink,
like truly his worst fears come to life. It's incredible. Well,
I'm guessing this is not how you normally
your typical
write your books. Yeah. I would like to know: are you a plotter? You a pantser? You a plantser?
That's a new one we have.
I would say probably plantser. I'm not a big planner. I also never just start without anything. So the way I usually do it is I'll have an idea and I will write down like the bones of that idea and then try to flesh it out just over maybe 2 or 3 pages. And it will be like some of the details will be very vague, like bad things happen and then, or things like that.
Yeah, yes. Right.
But then I will have that like 2 or 3 page outline and I will condense that into maybe like 10 bullet points. And then I just go from there, and I do not religiously stick to the bullet points at all. In fact, sometimes it's like bullet points, what bullet points? But they are there if I find myself kind of like lost in the quagmire. Yeah. Or if I start to get that feeling of like, what next? I'm like, the bullet points.
Yeah.
Back to the magic bullet points.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of the magic, and this is kind of what I was thinking about earlier, is this idea of this world that you've created for Nemesis Mine. And I don't know if it was similar in your other stories, but I was just curious, what was your process for that, of designing? I mean, the creativity of this world and how, you know, these towns will have the villain or the good guy and kind of the old gods, you know, of just, was that fun to live in that space? Did you feel limited by it at all? I just love to hear a little bit about that.
It was really fun. And I guess I wanted it to be, I wanted the world building and the nature of it and the tone of it to match the rest of the tone of the book. So to be quite irreverent in nature. I know that like my publisher has often comped it to Shrek, and it does, like, it makes me laugh when you watch the start of Shrek 2 and like when they're going through Far, Far Away and they'll see like Versace rather than Versace, like things, Starbucks rather than Starbucks, like things like that. And I think that's definitely kind of tonally what it is. The idea of the elected villains and heroes was the one that came first, because it's actually it's not, I mean, it's not how the UK works, but the idea at the back of my head was like how we elect MPs.
Yeah, what if it was,
Yeah, and that was just our kind of like it was taken or inspired vaguely by our kind of member of parliament voting. And the idea that like what if like the heroes had to actually prove themselves in order to get a town, and they have to like be chosen by the people rather than just kind of being an automatically beloved hero, because that brought in some stakes for Max, because it gives him something to lose, because he can't just keep his life of luxury if the people don't want him. So that was the idea.
He's got to be working for it.
Yeah. And then I just really liked the idea of like some poor towns, rather than like they really want a hero. God bless them, they want a hero, and instead they get somebody like Cyrus.
No, they get the villain.
They get the villain.
Yeah.
The villain who's trying to like, I love how in the beginning it's like he's just not being bad enough, you know? It's like, I could be doing more. I could
doing more.
He's just a bit petty is the problem.
Yeah.
I loved your comparison to him to the Grinch, like just very like yelling at the who's down below, like just very upset.
And obviously the Grinch's beloved companion happens to be called Max the dog, which was not intentional. It's not intentional, but now makes me smile every time I watch the Grinch.
Yes. Which is also
that's our family tradition.
Yeah,
so
we
watch
the Jim Carrey version every Christmas. It's a major, they're like going back to you in the Squid Game and the tracksuit. They have the full Grinch pajamas, like the footy, the zip up, you know, the dog, Stella.
Our dog Stella has the Max outfit.
Anyway. Yeah, it's a full thing. We're also very committed.
We're committed to the bit for sure.
Yeah.
So I know you said you're a little bit of a planter in between. What does that first draft look like? Is it really messy? Is it just like, let me get it out of my brain and on the page? How does that look?
I tend to write the first drafts quite quickly in, you know, like as far as a first draft can be quick. I don't really like first drafts. I find them quite... I'm not somebody who's like, oh, the best part of the book for me is the bit where you don't know what's on the next page. I feel much better when I've written the end and I've got a draft to work with and make better. But I do tend to just kind of, like I said, do it quite quickly. I think I wrote the first draft for Nemesis. I started it right at the start of April a couple of years ago, and I sent it to my agent at the start of June. So it was across 2 months.
Wow.
I was working full time at the time.
Goodness.
So it's kind of like, you know, in snatched hours and weekends and stuff.
My goodness.
And it was it was messy looking back. I was about to claim that it wasn't messy, and then I was like, maybe my agent will listen to it. It was like I said, with sticking to the bullet points and not always sticking to them, there were definitely elements in that first draft where I'd gone off on tangents that I later went back and thought, why on earth have you gone off on a tangent about this? Like, I need to cut like 15,000 words or something of something that just it's not needed. But I think usually the bones of it are there. I'm in a WhatsApp group with a group of writers who were talking recently about first drafts, and I don't know who said this. I think somebody's editor had said it and it got passed down, but they described first drafts as having like being like a lump of clay, and there's hopefully like a thread of marble running through it, or some kind of gemstone buried in the clay. But it's okay for the first draft to look like a lump of clay, because the next drafts will be about scraping the clay off and being like, sparkly jewel underneath, hopefully. So
I love that.
That's the approach I take.
Because we're in the intimidating phase of, like you said, not knowing what's on the next page and just wanting it so desperately to exist.
To be over. But also you love it.
I know. But like, love this, enjoy this, but also please be over soon. Yes.
So you're in the WhatsApp group. You also take an annual writing retreat. What's that like?
I do. It's me and my friend who also really likes writing. We hire like a really nice barn in the Peak District, which isn't too far from where I live, and we've done it I think 4 or 5 times now, and we'll have kind of like 3 or 4 nights there, and we will aim when we first walk in to sit down and do some writing. I think the first writing retreat we did a fair bit of writing. The second one we got snowed in and didn't realise, and like we looked out the window at like 3 a.m. and the snow was covering my car, and we were like,
oh my goodness.
We had to get like, my brother had to come and drive and like help us out the next day because we were stuck.
Oh my goodness.
We've had like tires explode. There's always some kind of car-related emergency that gets in the way of the writing.
Maybe it's just helping with future plots.
Yeah, it's adventure.
Yeah. Last time we didn't get much writing done because we saw a massive spider in there that we then lost, and then we couldn't sit down and do any writing until we'd located the spider.
Burn it down.
Yep. That's the only answer. You got to burn it and move. Yeah.
So I do have an annual writing retreat, but I would say productivity varies on the retreat.
Yeah, it sounds like Cyrus is involved here.
Yeah.
He's like the villain is.
He's like letting a spider in at the window. Like this is gonna be good.
Let's watch this. Yeah, he's enjoying. That's amazing. And what does I know you get to do the writing retreat, but on a day-to-day, what does a perfect writing day look like for you? Where do you post up? What is
I have aspirations of like getting up and starting early, but I'm not a morning person and have yet to fix that if it is fixable. So what I tend to do now is kind of let myself have that kind of a bit of time to sort of come round, if you like, and let myself have time to also do anything that might be like lingering at the back of my mind as a distraction. So if I want to play on a certain game, I might do it for 40 minutes because then it's like, you've done it, put it away now. You've got it out of the way. But then I have tried different things. Sometimes when I'm working on a first draft, I do write in sprints and kind of set myself like 10 minutes, 5-minute break, 20 minutes, 5-minute break, half an hour. And I have found that very helpful for getting the word count up. But I actually think that's kind of a bit of a tactic for if I'm struggling or if I'm in a bit of a tough place with the manuscript. My actual kind of most productive comfort zone of writing, if you like, is literally just being in a room on my own, usually with like a wax melt that I've decided smells like this book. Just having I don't know, from maybe 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. with a snack of just being nobody talk to me, leave me in here. I have to get into it, and then once I'm in the story I can take it from there, but it's kind of the getting into it that takes some time. But I also do often leave my phone out of the room because I can't be trusted.
Smart.
That's
very smart. Yes, and I identify with that too, of what you were saying of how sometimes you kind of have to get the things out of your mind. I get that way with my little chores, I was gonna move that load of laundry, or I wanted to, whatever the thing was. If there's just things in my mind, it does help to just clear that and be done, so that you can go get those blocks of focus time.
No, absolutely.
I think that's great advice too. And leaving the phone in the other room, that's a smart one. Lock it up, put it away. It can be such a distraction.
Even give it to somebody else and be like, do not give it back to me, even if I beg.
No, I have to hit so many thousand words, and then I can have it back. Lock it away.
Before we hit the final 5, I was just going to ask you what advice you'd give someone like us writing their first novel, especially if it's something silly or strange or different, what advice would you give somebody?
I would probably kind of split that advice into 2, and I think the first thing, in terms of like you've said, that trying to get to the end, a bit like with the analogy with the clay, I very much believe that it really doesn't matter what the first draft looks like, and that if you write a page that you don't think is very good, it doesn't matter because you wrote a page. So the most important thing is that you wrote that page, you kept going. You don't have to write for a certain amount of time per day. You don't have to write every day if you can't find the time or you've got other responsibilities. I just think as long as you have pushed that story forward in some manner, even if it's really clunky, even if you're wincing as you write it and you think, I really don't like this, as long as you've pushed it forward, you've achieved something, because you can always come back and fix it or even cut it completely if it doesn't need to be there. But the one thing that you can't do is, if you worry too much about what is on that page in the early drafts, you're never going to see the end. Do you know what I mean? You're never ever going to get to the end. So I think advice. Even if it feels like throwing paint at a wall rather than painting it, just keep going. And really don't worry if you're thinking this is the ugliest thing someone's ever written. I have had that thought, sometimes. And then actually, I also think when you come back to it, it's not usually as bad as you thought it was. It's just kind of in that moment, your brain going, this isn't what I imagined my masterpiece to look like. And you tend to be harder on it than it actually is. But again, even if you get back to it and you don't like it at all, you can cut it, you can redo it. And at that point, you will have a full draft so there's less pressure to kind of get it
Love it.
exactly right. And about it being kind of silly or strange or fun, I would probably just say to kind of trust yourself. And you know what you like we've said about like Doctor Who or Squid Game or Star Trek or whatever it is. You know what you like, and somebody has written that, and they've had to take a leap of faith that somebody else is going to enjoy it. And even if you're kind of writing it and you're thinking, I think other people are going to find this silly or strange, like there's going to be people who like the same things you like, who have the same way of thinking of you, the same sense of humor, things like that. I think you just have to trust yourself, and also trust that, as I say, like your people are out there, which sounds very Star Trek when I put it like, or maybe X-Files when I put it like that. But
Absolutely.
I think it can be, I think writing is always vulnerable. And if it's something that's very personal to you, that's very vulnerable. But equally, if it's something that you know is a little bit off center, you have that kind of like, this isn't kind of the norm, if you like. It can be it can be a little bit nerve-wracking, but I do think that somebody out there, like somebody loves everything. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
there
absolutely.
will be the smallest niche TV show that very few people have heard of. It will be somebody's favorite TV show. Like,
cool.
they're always out there.
Yeah.
And I love that perspective. I never thought about the people writing the things, those little quirky shows or books that we love, of their hesitancy around putting that into the world and being like, is this too weird? Is this too much? And then we're bonding over the fact that it's our favorite.
It's different.
Like, I've never put myself in the mindset of they probably sat and doubted themselves at some point. Like, I love that perspective. Thank you.
It does feel like, your passion will come across, right? If you're passionate about this thing, and this is something we've heard from authors too, like if you love that thing, then that'll be on the page, and people who can and will connect with it if they love it too.
You'll find your people.
You'll find your people.
Thank you. That was really beautiful. I'm leaving feeling so inspired. Can I hit you with the final 5 now? Our lightning round. So just, there are no wrong answers. It's just whatever comes to mind. So open door or closed door? What's your preference with writing or reading?
Open door, I think.
Yeah. Sexiest occupation for a main character?
The word builder came to mind, so I'm just gonna say that. Builder.
That's a good one. Makes me think of that, what's his name, Bradley Thor on TikTok, that just like chops the trees and
Maybe that's what was
why
in
do you
my
know
mind.
about him?
I don't know, it just popped in my mind. I don't know.
Why did that pop into your mind?
I was channeling her thought. Favorite beverage while writing?
Tea.
As you take a sip.
Tea.
Gotta
be an English breakfast
tea. I was wondering, what's the go-to? And we've heard a couple of ways of making the English tea lately. We're trying to find what is the actual proper way. Everybody has their preference, and we love it. What is your favorite punctuation mark?
Semicolon.
Ooh, good one.
That's a good one. And what is one word? We've talked so much about first drafts. What's one word you always overuse in a first draft?
The word vaguely. I don't know why. I never seem to want to commit to like an adjective, so it's always like a vaguely threatening smirk or something like that. I don't know.
It's not fully threatening.
Vaguely threatening. I love
and then
that.
I'll go through and be like,
so
stop
good.
that.
Once again, might be one of my favorite answers.
That's a great answer.
Such
I love
a good
that.
answer. I love that. I
makes
love
me
Just
happy.
outed myself
Amy,
as a
thank
commitment.
you so much.
That's so good.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for
joining us
spending
today.
time with us.
Thank you for
everybody,
having me.
please go get a copy.
Go get a copy. It's
Nemesis
so fun.
Mine. I know, it's a blast. Out now in the US
Go
and
get
UK. Thank you. We'll be sure to put all of your socials and things too at the end of the show.
Incredible.
But we just can't thank you enough for your time. It's been such a pleasure.
No, it's been lovely to talk to both of you. Thanks for having me.
I was thinking about it. Maybe we should go on a writer's retreat.
Especially
All inclusive, laying on the beach. Right.
I was gonna say how much writing would happen, but no, if it's anything like Amy's writers retreats, I don't know how much writing
That's
would
free
get
inspiration.
done. But they sounded so fun, like it was an adventure every time. Probably not in the moment with like exploding tires and snow and giant spiders. No, thank you. Yeah. But it definitely sounded like Cyrus was writing some of that plot.
Definitely.
But thank you to Amy. Thank you for your advice. Love talking about those first drafts. Still working on ours.
So. That's what's bouncing around in my head is the first draft thing where we're talking about, just making the lump of clay.
Yeah. And hoping that there's marble or something in there.
And I think that's the key.
Yeah. Just write it.
That's the key.
To exist.
Make the clay.
Maybe if we go on a writer's retreat.
We can make some clay? You and me together?
Clay, yeah.
Okay, a little clay time, if you will. Huh? Okay, a little role clay.
And when we come back and we check our mailbox.
Mailbox? Why are you pushing me along from role clay? That was a good joke.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, we'll do mailbox.
You will run along with that.
I don't know what you mean.
Back.
We do have a mailbox. Mailbox today.
There's goodies in the mailbox.
We did get some mail.
I didn't see all the goodies in the mail.
And I want to share it with you, the listener, watcher, viewer, person out there. Fan? I don't know. Sure.
Even if you're hate watching, we appreciate
yeah, we'll take it, I guess.
Yeah.
Let me crack open the mailbox for you.
I'm excited.
And see what's in here.
What did we get?
I'll start with this. Oh, wait, there's a letter in here.
There's a letter.
There's a letter.
Who could it be from?
There's a letter in the mailbox. Let's see. It says, to best friend ever on earth, Daddy. Thank you for all the cookies. You my fave. We live with stinky boys. Also, when move out lady in our house, she always ruin our whole pet belly scritch side time. Please let me know if you want I bite her. All love, me love you, your favorite. Still, I don't know, it just says still, and there's a paw print.
Interesting.
So, I don't know who that's from.
She would never move me out or bite me because I'm the only one that remembers to feed her. So and take care of her when she needs.
I don't know. I don't remember where that one was addressed to. All right, let me see what else is in here. Look what I've got here. Ta-da!
Oh.
I've got The Secrets We Hide by Karen Slaughter, sent to us by the one and only Jess Cozy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jess.
About halfway through it, I've been reading it.
Yes, he does.
Not technically a romance,
nope,
but I love it.
But we love it.
And it's great.
And we know we have lots of listeners who love to go back and forth between the romance and the thriller. They love when there's overlap, too.
So good.
So here's a recommendation.
I'm really enjoying it.
Yes, The Secrets We Hide by Karen Slaughter.
It is. You got to read it with the lights on, though.
Yeah, right. I know. I read her Pretty Girls, too, and that one is also read with the lights on. That one sticks with you a little bit. But yes, thank you for that.
And then last, I'll hand it to you, actually. There you go.
Fan mail. Look what someone sent us. Thank you so much.
Save the M dash.
And J. Save the M dash.
3D printed placard. Save the M dash.
So cute. I'm like, I thought about putting it on my desk, but I think it's even better for the set, right?
It's got to live in the set.
Go right there on
we'll find a place.
So thank you so much to K and J for Save the M dash, joining the club and fighting a good fight with us against
lots of stickers purchased recently.
Yes.
So if you're out there, go to savethemdash.org. You can support. You can sign the pledge. Very serious
join
pledge.
The Cool Kids Club, and
join the club. Yeah. Come see us.
So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you again to Amy Archer, author of Nemesis Mine. Oh, so fun. I feel like you're gonna as you finish this, or as we finish this, you're gonna channel Cyrus and start being mischievous around.
Make sure that both sides of your pillow are warm.
Oh, that would be so cruel. I love my bed. We've discussed
how important the sandwich is. It has a nickname. Her bed does. The sandwich. It has so many layers.
That you did that, and you try to snag it all the time.
Do I need to go through the layers again? Okay.
No, we do not. No, but we do need to tell you where to find Amy. She can be found on Instagram at Amy Eliza Archer. Her website is amyarcherauthor.com. So thank you so much to Amy for joining us. Please, go get this. This is so fun. Just a fantastic story, great world that she built here. Awesome. Such a fun premise. And you can find us at Our Next Chapter Podcast on Instagram well, at ournextchapterpodcast.com.
HTTP.
No, that is
colon
so
2025.
We're closer to 2027. Then we are
nextchapterpodcast.com. Okay.
We're so over that. But thank you for fan mail and for
thank you for listening,
this adventure with us.
Following.
We have so much fun with you.
We'll see you on the book trail.
Yes, hopefully we see you out on the book crawl. If you go, tag us, let us know where you stopped and what you found. And if you go in your own hometown, if you're not in North Texas, tag us and tell us what you're doing and who you're supporting. We're so excited for that. But thank you. And until next time, I love you.
I love you.
That's nice.
Do you think I could figure out who sent this fan mail, though?
Maybe if you really do some sleuthing. And
also, when does old lady move out?
Old lady?
Oh, wait, sorry. When does lady move out our house? Sorry, misspelling in there.
I hope our food gets refilled because no one else is going to remember to do it.